Thank you. Hi, I'm Carol Conley of the Christian Civic League of Maine. And I'd like to talk to you today. No, I'm not Carol. You all know that. But he'll be here in a little bit. In the meantime, open to the Gospel of Luke. Now, we finished up 2 Thessalonians, and you remember when we went off to 1 Thessalonians, we were taking a sabbatical from the Gospel of Luke. We all felt like we needed some encouragement, and from the Apostle Paul, and some teaching on the rapture so that we could be encouraged. And so that was exactly a year ago. I had it written down in my notes. And so we did 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, and my granddaughter Catherine says, Papa, that's 8 chapters in 52 weeks? And I said, yeah. She said, that's like 6 or 7 weeks on one chapter. I said, well, I know. And she just laughed. She thought that was funny to take so long. So I don't know if I should speed up. At one point I was going to.
Easy for us. It's 2 or 3 weeks, Gary, and we're not missing it.
Yeah, we can go to Florida and come back and not miss a whole lot.
Aren't they
Yes. You watch online.
Well, in my defense, I remember asking once, seriously, if you would want me to speed up the pace. And I don't remember who it was that said it, but he said, we can all read it for ourselves and think about it, but we would like somebody to dig in and take us a little deeper.
Right.
And
Well, it really shouldn't matter what we want or what you want. It should be as the Spirit leads.
exactly, yeah. And especially today, because I'm not a bit prepared.
So the Spirit better be leading, huh?
Yeah, and he will. But we left off in Luke chapter 6. Excuse me. I'm getting over a sinus infection, which, is not contagious, but it's annoying me, to say the least. We left off in chapter 6, but if you go back to chapter 5. Even chapter 4. Luke.
Right back to Genesis.
Luke.
Just a little review.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just starting, Luke. How can we go back to chapter 5?
Well, because we were in chapter 6 when we stopped to change over to
So
Thessalonians
long ago you've forgotten.
a year ago.
Oh.
But I want to back up so we have some context, and I want us to notice a few things. So go back to Luke chapter 4. Yeah. And to me, this whole section is really interesting. It might not be to you, or at least the way I teach it might not be interesting, but in chapter 4, verse 14, Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him spread throughout the surrounding district, and he began teaching in their synagogues and was praised by all. He came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as was his custom, he entered the synagogue on the Sabbath and stood up to read. Now, in their minds, he's a rabbi, he's a prophet, possibly like John the Baptist. They don't know that he's the Christ yet, He's just revealing himself little by little. This is the beginning of his public ministry. And so, in chapter 4, when he goes back to his hometown, after he's gaining some notoriety, traveling around, he goes back to the synagogue in Nazareth, and as was his custom, as a man and as a rabbi, he would have read from the scriptures when he lived there. you know, because he became a man when he was a teenager. It became obvious that he knew the word and could be considered a teacher as he got a little older. So this is not out of place at all. But he stands up and he reads from the prophet Isaiah.